I think the relationship of Anakin and Padme is a good one, but I think that it needs some more up and downs. It needs to be challenged. It needs to go through some twists. It needs to reach a point that at the end you see how much he's willing to give up. You see the commitment and that you really follow through with that. And we have the time to add that in the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. We have the time that we can get into that stuff. So the same thing with Anakin and Palpatine, really. I mean, you really need to get that he's kind of like this father figure. Mm-hmm. When you see Mace Windu's the guy that tells, little Anakin, no, he will not be trained.
Yeah.
And then you cut to Anakin, and he's like, what? Like, there's this look on little Anakin's face where he's like, I'm going to remember that, right? You're a negative. Why are you doing that? So you understand then, and you have to look at it. The Jedi are actually, though they mean really well for Anakin, they're always telling him no.
Yeah.
They're always saying no. No, you'll be expelled. You have to leave the Jedi Order. And then Palpatine's always playing off of that, saying they need you far more than you know.
Yeah.
I think you're the most powerful Jedi ever. So you have this one group that's trying to train you to be this balanced person that has considerable skill, but they're always limiting you, saying, it's all Obi-Wan's fault. He's holding me back. We have to assume that Obi-Wan's doing these things to Anakin that are making him frustrated. And then you got Palpatine saying, no, you're the best. You're beyond the best. Mm-hmm. They need you. They don't know it. I know it.
Yeah. It's the guy telling you the truth and the guy telling you what you want to hear.
Right. So when you get to that point, I mean, all these things I'm talking about get you to that point where Palpatine's on the ground and Mace Windu has a lightsaber at his throat and he's saying, he's the traitor.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, so Anakin's there and he's choosing between the guy that's always told him no, while he respects him and he's not a mentor, but he's a fellow Jedi.
Right.
And the father figure who holds the key possibly to immortality and you saving this person you love in Padme. That decision becomes a lot clearer. I think it's hard for people that don't understand the Star Wars mythology and the Star Wars trilogy. They say, well, it didn't work for me because it was so brief. But it's not. When you look at the bigger scope of the prequels, what's really going on is this much larger opera than we saw in the old movies. It really does come together. It really came into focus for me. And, I think it's a great scene. And we've done things with, Anakin and Mace Windu that are very subtle that feed that relationship. I don't know if you guys notice whenever Mace is in a scene with Anakin in the Clone Wars, he's always kind of like eyeing him, or he kind of shakes his head when Anakin says something. It's all little stuff because it's not that Mace dislikes him. It's just that he thinks, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're thinking. Uh-huh. And, wow, it worked again, but there's something, and because he says he doesn't trust him.
Right.
I mean, which is, whoa.
Yep.
We're at the end of the Clone War, and he doesn't trust Anakin.
I was just going to say, that's pretty late in the game
So-
to me making that call. But
That's the fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
And before I had this job, I talked about this stuff too. It's talking like this that got me this job.
Nice.
You see, there's hope for all of us, guys.
Yeah,
That one day
I mean-
we'll be like Dave and we'll be paid to do this.
Well, yeah, because I talked like this to Chris Pernosky, who was doing the opening titles to Avatar: The Last Airbender. And he would be in there, Ask His Revenge Sith coming, asking me about the prequels. He's like, I don't understand this. I'm like, but Chris, from a certain point of view, if you look at it this way, it really makes sense. And then he's like, oh, I guess I can see that. And so that's how I got the job. So there you go.
We're so glad you did.
Sorry, I was blabbing there.
Not at all. Not at
I don't know
all.
if that even
Weren't
made
happy with
sense.
it.
I don't even know.